Cost of living. We've been talking about this for quite a while, and I don't think that we will stop talking about it anytime soon because, it continues to be unabated. So, cost of living crisis.
Elsaby, that
I'm hoping for Mr. Steinman to just give us that bit of hope for our pockets.
at this moment I can't, because I have told our audience several times that the inflation that we experienced since the middle of 2023 was exogenous, meaning it was imported inflation. We didn't do anything here to cause the inflation. And what was the fundamental reason for it was the almost doubling in fuel prices.
Yes.
You remember not that long ago, a liter of petrol or diesel was in the region of $12 or $13. Now it's 20 and it turned at 21. You see, that is where the inflation comes from. It comes from energy. And it was triggered by the war in the Ukraine. Within 6 months, fuel prices doubled.
And we
almost
all
doubled.
felt it.
Yeah.
Even the person that does not own a car, we all
Yeah,
felt it.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody felt it. Why? For that very simple fundamental reason that everything has to be transported.
Yeah.
If I have to come to work, I have to catch a taxi, I have to be transported. If I buy anything in the supermarket, it doesn't matter whether it was grown in South Africa or whether it was grown in Grootfontein, it has to be put on the back of a truck and taken to the supermarket. So fuel siphons through the economy, through the entire economy, every aspect of it. And that's where our inflation comes from.
Yeah.
And what's been happening since the 28th of February? Another fuel shock.
Yes.
And if you look at the news every day, it doesn't look like it's going to let up. The reasons for the fuel shock is military, is political. I don't see a quick solution. You know that in 2008, what was the one symptom, the one outstanding symptom of the crisis? Was the fuel price. The price of crude oil went to $146 per barrel. What happened within the month after it hit that all-time high? You had riots in Africa, in many countries. You had riots in Asia, you had riots in South America. You even had riots in some parts of the United States. Because that $146 per barrel very quickly pushed up everything. And the salaries, the income, the revenue side of the private households did not go up by the same value. You see, and this is this is where the trepidation comes in. I look at our margin that we've destroyed. We don't have a margin anymore. So we don't have any room to play. And I see at the fuel price that has not come down, or the little bit that it's come down is it's not infinitesimal, it's very small. It's insignificant, And I see there's reason for the fuel price to go up by another $10 if the conditions in the Middle East are not settled, don't change in any meaningful way. And that bombardment of that gas field in Iran and the bombardment by the Iranian government, the counter bombardment in Qatar, those two gas fields, they've been damaged for the next 5 years, I read. Now, I can't tell you it is so or it isn't so, but I can tell you that the price of gas in Europe has gone up by nearly 30%, 1/3, in just about 2 weeks because of that bombardment. So whether you stop fighting or not, the point is it's going to take a couple of years after the hostilities have ceased to get back to normal. And what I predict is that I think we're in for elevated inflation for at least another 4 to 5 years. Because even if they strike a deal tomorrow, stop the war, the damage that was done
The infrastructure was damaged then.
Yeah, it will take years
It will
to,
take
to, to
years.
fix that, you know. And in the meantime, we are going to see inflation stay high in Africa, in Namibia, for the same reason that it stayed high in 2009, 2010, because there's nothing we can do. And also remember, I'm always very realistic. I'm cautioning our listeners, don't think the oil is going to start flowing next week or next year or so. We're lucky if we start seeing the benefits of our own oil in 5 years from now.
Well, all I can say is that word on the street is that Namibians are scared of this oil and gas in Namibia because they've seen how other countries are being attacked because of the resources.
Yeah.
So that talk is for another day. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Steinman, until we meet again. But before I say goodbye, you need to go to economist, economist.com.na if you want to listen to all our talks that we've had. Very interesting. So if you want to get hooked, if you have nothing planned for the Easter weekend, you can of course go to economist.com.na. From me, I'll speak to Nyani. Goodbye.